We come to deal today with the Anglican Church, or the Church of England as it is commonly known. Now Paul says to Timothy, doesn't he, concerning the extension of things, such as the Church of England, which we shall go into, that we're not to give heed to fables and endless genealogies which do administer questions, okay, rather than godly edifying which is in faith. We're not to get carried away with endless ramblings, but to be straight, to be precise, to be honest. Now, when we come to the Church of England, we are specifically talking about a division of Romanism. The Church of England came as a part of Romanism. She is one of the daughters of that system. That system that was created to be the official church of Imperial Rome. Everything you see in Imperial Rome, as with any organisation, they have to have their various parts for what we know as the system, as in the system of this world. And one of them was a church system. They had a legal system, and so they must have a church system. A secular and a sacred. And that's how it has always been. And in this new so-called world order that we are entering in, Romanism, that we know to be the Antichrist, will probably be predominant. Okay? Now, Anglicanism has been around for centuries. The 4th century saw Anglicanism, not under the name, of course that would come later, but an establishment that was separated from Rome and yet within Rome, because it was the western side of Romanism. Okay? That was in the 4th century. Just a branch of the Roman Church in the West. And of course, after Imperial Rome collapsed in the West, remained in the East, this particular church that would later become known as the Anglican Church or Church of England began to alter itself gradually and gradually, but only in the outward. They couldn't do so on the inside. They were still Romanists. No matter what services, no matter what gowns they put on, no matter what speech they went by, and no matter what terms they went by, they were still Romanists at heart. But they would begin to change. Still, remember, united to Rome until the Act of Supremacy in 1534 that declared Henry VIII to be the head of the Church of England, as it became known, replacing the Pope. Aye, replaced the Pope as the head of that church. The man of sin, the son of perdition, to be replaced by another wicked person. And of course Henry VIII did it for his own personal gain. He wasn't interested in religion of Christianity, so-called. Oh no. His religion was himself. He made himself a god. He worshipped himself, just as people do continuously throughout the ages, and then declare that all religion should be outlawed. Well, they should outlaw themselves then, the religious beings. A human being is a religious being. Throw some beans at him and he'll worship them. He'll make him into a god, and some wood and anything. Babies are gods, worshipping themselves. They'll worship anything. And throughout time and societies, groups have formed themselves. They've got these heads towards them that they worship, and they worship a doctrine, and they worship this and they worship that, worship global warming, they worship CND. They religiously follow these. These are the disciples of these movements and other movements, the Tractarian movements, globalist movements. You name the movements, and man is there. The movement of ignorance, aye, religiously followed. Hearts crying out, do away with religion, do away with religion. And they don't see their own selves in their own faces in the mirror. That they're religiously saying this, so therefore they must go. The planet would be vacated of human beings if you did away with religion. Secularism is a religion. Politics is a religion. Well, corrupt politics is a religion. Parliamentary politics, which is corrupt, is a religion. It's got its ministers. It's got its utopia. Okay. Oh, the world is going to be a better place. We've got these formulas. Follow us, vote for us, and we'll give you a decent society and a paradise on earth. Oh, Thomas More. Never comes. Because there's a bunch of liars, perverts, and reprobates. That's their religion. Now then, Anglicanism. Nothing changed under Henry VIII. Nothing at all. But the church itself was continuing to alter. Gradually alter over the time. When we have the likes of the 39 articles, okay, which are no longer valid as binding today. When the 39 articles were brought into being, laying down the faith of Church of England, they were binding upon all clergy. They swore to uphold the 39 articles of faith. That is not so today. That is not so. You're not bound by the 39 articles. You see, this is the way of the world. It has its church here, specifically with us, Church of England, as opposed, theoretically, to the Roman Church. Okay? But, and let us just go one back, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people saying that Oh, the Anglican Church is lining up with the Church of Rome. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Eh? Do you know there are beds to be made? There's seeds to be planted. There's work to do. Why are you going on about this? What is eating away at your life that the Anglican Church is going the way of Rome? When it is of Rome. It's always been of Rome. It's never separated from Rome. It's only the forms. What have we Christians got to do with the Anglican Church? There are practical things in life that we need to attend to and be busy about. And in doing so, showing the world what Christianity is. Not getting hung up in the debate of this side of Romanism, which is Anglicanism. It's like the world of, often said, you know, with people who go on about government, parliament, and they're going on and on and on. How about going into your garden? You got a garden? Go and plant some seeds. Go and tend to the plants. Have you got another job to go to? Do that. Do everything. Do practical things. Ignore Parliament. Get on with doing what's practical. What is practical, beneficial, worthwhile, productive. Don't waste your time being played by these people. They want an audience and you are giving them an audience. Separate from them. Touch not the ungodly. You wouldn't associate with a bunch of thieves and vagabonds, would you? That's what Parliament is. Denounce them, yes, for their wickedness, but don't dance to their tune. Don't let them play you. Now, as we say, thousands have been played by the Anglican Church, willingly played, allowing themselves to be played, because they've got nothing better to do in their lives at the end of the day. You get caught up in these things. For what reason? Do you benefit? No. These are wicked people. Anglicanism is wickedness. Touch not, handle not. It's an establishment of Romanism. It's got its priest boxes, its see of what? Canterbury. It's got its garments, it's got its Eucharist, it's got its stone altars towards the east. It's got its perpetual lights, celebration of the saints, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. And I'll say this: how dare you as a Christian support an institution that has persecuted us in times past? How dare you? How dare you trample underfoot Christians who have been burnt and martyred in many other ways? What are you going to say to John Bunyan and the Conventicle Act? The years he spent in Bedford jail. He should have died there, and the Anglicanism wanted him to die there. And when he came out, he wouldn't give up preaching. So they sent him back for 2 years, and then they found out that they couldn't win with him and with others. So they backed off. But Anglicanism went to Parliament and ordered Parliament to persecute Christians. They formulated and brought to Parliament the Conventicle Act and the 5 Mile Act. And that's just the beginning. Eh? How about all those Puritans that lost their living when they had to walk out of the Church of England because the Church of England says you have to observe the altars and altar rails and dress differently than the people? They wouldn't conform. No, they said, no, that's not Christianity. Anglicanism has never been Christian. The world says it's Christian, just equally as the world says Romanism is Christian. The two are not Christian. We are Christians. Those two institutions are from the pit of hell. They have their high churches, so what? So what? What's that got to do with me? Nothing. Eh? And people cry over, oh, well, you know, John Henry Newman, he was great. Oh, he went over to Rome. He was already in Rome. Do you not understand the doctrine of Christ? You're supposed to be a Christian. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Total depravity remains in the heart of a natural person. The heart has to be, what? Taken out by God, the hand of God. Directly by the hand of God in justification. By faith, which is an act of God. Salvation is of the Lord. A man can put on a cloak and put on a speech and put on a face. That is one thing. And then underneath in his heart he's another. He's a Judas. He's a Chrisling. He's a Demas. He's an Ananias and Sapphira. He's a Ham. Do you not understand that where there is good men, there is bad? Where there's true, there is false. Where you've got a true man and woman, you've also got opposite a false man and woman. Huh? A pretender to being upright. The Church of England does the same. Pretends to be upright, but it will persecute. It will savage us Christians. You go into a Church of England today and they will savage you because they are not Christian, never have been Christian. And you say, oh, what about Latimer and Ridley and so on and so on and so forth? Yes, so what about them? Well, they came from a godly institution. No. Well, they were men of God, blah, blah, blah. Right, okay, fair enough. Right. I see Joe Bloggs there. And he's selling stolen goods. And he's in a conclave here with his mates. And they're all selling stolen goods. And as he's walking towards his home, he gets convicted of sin, of righteousness, of judgment to come. And God shows him within that mercy, for it is mercy, justification by faith, and he becomes a new man. Does that justify where he came from? No, it doesn't. So what you're saying is, it does. So thieving and trading in theft, stolen goods, must be a good thing then. Just as Anglicanism must be a good thing because somebody was born in it. Born again in it. Your blinkers you should take off. Your bias towards a corrupt establishment you should take off. You should be honest and true and examine all things to see if they be of God. Test the spirits. The spirit of Anglicanism remains the daughter of Romanism. Doesn't matter who comes out of it. They come out of it. And they persecuted their own that remain in it. And of course in the Middle Ages, when we're going back to the 1500s, the setup was that there was these two churches. That was then. Now, it's different. So don't tell me that the Latimers and the Cranmers, etc., remained to approve the Anglican Church. No, they didn't. There was no other church, and there was no other setup. And there was no other mindset. It was for that period. If they were living today, they'd be out. It's a different period that we're living in today. We cannot take our day and age and imagine it to be present in the 1500s. That is lunacy to do that. That's madness. We could not live in the 1500s. And the 1500s could not live in the centuries prior to their own age. Each and every one of us is in our own age, in our own period, and everything that surrounds us is accommodating to us in that period. Okay,